Hi.
Hey, Missy.
Hi.
Do you want me to call you Missy or Melissa?
Either way, I've always been called
Okay.
Missy. It's like a nickname.
Okay, I figured because you're on here as Missy, so all right,
Yeah.
just making sure. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in. A little
Yeah.
tentative. First time I've ever done anything like this. First time on StreamYard, too.
Well, we're gonna. I always say, it's good to let me pop your cherry, so to speak.
Right?
It's okay, Robin. Um, I usually say that in private to people that say that they're new, but it's good to have you. Now, at least you feel comfortable enough to come on here.
I've
So
I've
that's
watched
good.
you. I've watched you for a while, so
Oh, okay. How long?
uh, I have to say it was probably around the Gabby Petito case when I first found you.
Oh, okay. So about a year.
Yeah, and but what caught my attention was when you were at Tombstone,
Okay. Yeah.
and I was like,
Those-
"Whoa, that is really cool."
Yeah. I know. I need to go back there. I need to go back to Tombstone and try to figure out better lighting or a different way to do it. I don't know. Um. So, what are we doing for you today?
Hmm. Intuitive or whatever comes to you. I feel like
So,
there's like things in my way, but
okay. So the two that I offer is intuitive guidance and then mediumship. So intuitive guidance is like I work off of questions and I channel the guidance from your guides, and mediumship is deceased loved one or pets. So either or.
I did send a picture of my loved one
Okay. So you want to do
for
that?
if you can, yes. If
Okay.
if if he doesn't come through, then whoever does, I'm open to listen.
Um, I usually can get anybody. I mean, I do have. They are different in the way they connect. Some are stronger than others,
Okay.
but and you know how I work, right? Or do I need to explain it?
No, I've kind of been following.
Okay. I just want to make sure because I usually have to tell people, past, present, future, yada, yada,
Hmm.
yada. Just validate what I get and don't give me any
Okay.
extra information. How and yes, and how if it makes sense. And then if it doesn't, just hang on to it.
Okay.
So you sent something to my email.
Yeah, I sent a picture. It's kind of an old photo,
Hmm,
but I also know there's probably a few things between me and there.
I'm getting a headache. I don't know if it's connected to this person or not. Let's see. Oh, this is off of they don't have a clearer picture.
No, that so far
Okay.
that's been the only one we've been able to find.
Okay, are you able to validate with this person?
Yes, mostly.
Okay,
I have
just want
more
to make sure.
history than I have photos.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because, but sometimes they talk about personal things, so
Yeah.
um, we'll see how it goes. I'm usually able to get whoever I try to connect to, but do you know if the headache belongs to him?
It could, yes.
Okay, because it got way stronger. I started getting it when you were on the backstage, and
That makes sense.
now that we pulled up this picture, it's worse.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
And there's family history of that too.
Okay. I sometimes get it with certain passings too. Like it'll come in if people have heart issues sometimes or blood pressure or something stroke, something with the head. I'll usually get
Yes,
it, but um
it was stroke.
yeah.
Yes.
It's funny that I said that then because that's what I was thinking because it was showing me the brain,
Yeah.
and then usually when they show me the brain it's like telling me there's a blood clot or a stroke, which they're the same. That's basically what a stroke is, blood clot.
Yep.
Um I'm like, okay, we figured that out. You can chill out with the headache now. Sometimes they don't take it away. Like when I get it, it'll keep coming back, but that's just because I don't know if they know how to turn it off sometimes.
I've never tried to reach out to him before, so.
So I get the word stern. So I don't know if sometimes he was stern, not all the time, but he says stern, like he was a stern person about things. Sometimes.
Yes, he was. Yes.
He's giving me anxiety too.
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay. See if I understand this. He's talking about saying like when he wanted things done a certain way, like they had to be done that way.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Almost like an OCD kind of feeling. Yeah. Yep. Okay. And he would redo it if it wasn't done right or have it redone.
Yes. Very much so.
like that's not good enough. We have
I'll
to
just
fix
do
that.
it myself.
Yeah, I'll just do it myself.
Yep.
He's very particular and like picky about things.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know why I haven't gotten this before ever, but I get the word great. So like a great, like a great grandfather, a great uncle, like a great something.
Yes, great grandfather.
Okay. Great grandfather. Okay.
Yes.
That's what I've never had them say great before. They usually say grandfather figure or father figure, not great. Yes. So, okay.
That's how I relate to him, is my great grandpa.
Thanks, buddy.
I think he was nicer than he appeared.
He is. I mean, it just has like little ticks like we all do, little things. And that's what I think it was, is like he would seem like kind of an a-hole. Mm-hmm. But I feel like once you got to know him, he wasn't like that. Like he could be gentle and kind. And yes, he was stern about things and he did want things done a certain way. That was just his personality. But I mean, he was a good person. He doesn't come off as like a bad person. It's just his little things about his personality.
Yes.
Have you been working on your family tree? I've never had this symbol before. So, the symbol
I have.
Okay, because it's a new symbol for me, but I knew what it was. The symbol he gave me was a leaf.
Yes.
And like a leaf falling off.
Yes.
And it reminded me like of ancestry, and like you're doing like the leaves and stuff. And I've never had that symbol before. So he's the first one to use that with me.
He's our brick wall as far as the leaves go.
Okay. So you're like stuck on him. You can't go past him on that side of the family.
And I would love to be the one who could solve the mystery, but even though my time might be short, I would love to be the one who could do it.
Right.
I really think that he was an interesting, amazing person. And we know so much about him.
He comes off as like, it's like super smart, like almost almost genius IQ level is the way he comes across.
Yeah, he's very intelligent.
Yeah. And
he did so many things considering where he came from. And
I don't understand what this is. Well, because I see him in a white jacket. So white jacket represents to me as doctor or scientist or something like that is what I want to think of. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I want to go towards scientist, but I don't know if does that make sense? Because I've never had that either.
Well, in the tribal community, he would have been like the next in line to be what you call the healer or the shaman.
Okay, so he's Native American.
Yes.
So why is he so okay, I guess that's symbolic
But
for doctor then.
he passed as white, and
Yeah, he doesn't look Native American. Like, if you would have told me that, I would never have even known if he, unless
he
you told
didn't
me.
tell people that he was Native. He
And
was
that
as
maybe that's why he's not showing it to me like that, which is
yeah,
weird because
yeah,
I connect really good to Native Americans, but the um he's showing me like a white jacket
yeah.
or
He
white
said it's
a
a
white
white
coat.
man's world, and we have to learn to live in the white man's way. And then he
Right.
married an Irish lady, which at that time was illegal,
Right. So the white
and
coat
he
is
got
healer
away with
then.
it.
Well, the white coat is basically doctor, but not
hmm
because I've never
He
had
was,
that before.
yeah,
So,
he was
okay.
very smart. Yes,
That's why the genius IQ level comes in. All right. I understand now. He's just giving me the white man's doctor because
yes,
that's what I relate to, which is weird because he could have showed it to me a different way and I would
yeah,
have understood it. But since you're saying that that's how he looked at life, then that would make sense why he would do it like that.
yeah.
I don't know why the year 1972 is coming in.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
yes. I think that was the year he passed.
Okay. Sometimes they give me years, and it's usually something significant that happens. He's, a birth or a passing or something. But all right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, talks about being a hard worker. I see him
Yes.
like building things or he's showing it to me weird. Now it's like banging rocks together and like how you would put up a tent, like hitting the rock on the stake. I don't know what that's about, but I think it's his way of now he's going into, okay, now that we've talked about a native, I'm going to show you this.
Mhm.
Um
He
there
was he was in the Spanish American War, and they did travel and set up tents, and so
Okay, so that's probably why he's showing me then. Okay, that makes sense. And another thing he's showing me is there is a chief that is connected ancestrally to his side.
yes.
Um, because I just got the chills with that for some reason.
hmm
I don't know if that's your brick wall or
I
one
believe
part,
so.
one
Because
part of the brick wall.
yes,
Um,
I believe so.
okay, because they're showing me the headdress and everything, which is telling me there's a chief.
Yes. He was rescued by two little girls from a neighbor. They were all together in a village, and there were different tribes, and there was an attack, and he was two little girls scooped up the kids, and there were only three of the boys that survived, and so they
Did he know
ran.
how to hunt? Did he know how to hunt too?
Yes,
So
he did.
I get bow and arrow with him,
Yes,
and also a rifle. There's two
yes,
things that come in, and I also get horseback.
yeah.
So
He
he's
was
taking
very
me
good
back
with
to that
horses.
time. He's taking me back
Yes.
to that time frame. Um,
Oh,
I
I
get
got goosebumps.
I get buffalo.
Yes.
And this is gonna sound really weird. And I don't know why I don't know why I'm getting this. There's a bloodline connecting Geronimo
Probably. Yeah.
because I heard the word Geronimo, and I was like, no, that what?
I know.
So there's got to be some kind of bloodline leading back to
Okay.
that
It's
tribe
very
or that.
possible because his parents supposedly met on the Trail of Tears, and we were never able to figure out how one got there, how the one, it was supposed to be a boy and a girl and met on the Trail of Tears, but we never understood how the boy got there considering where he was supposed to be from.
Okay, him? You're talking about him
It
or a
would be
different boy?
it would be his dad, actually.
Okay,
His real father, not his adopted father, his real father.
Okay. He's, I don't know why he's showing me this. He's showing me there's a woman and she's carrying a baby. Now I don't know if this is his mom or his wife. I'm not sure because it's a Native American woman. She's got long black hair and she's you know how they used to like make those things to like hold the babies like in the front
Yeah.
that you would tie around and to
Yeah.
hold the babies there, like that's what I see her with. So
That might be his mom.
okay, it might be his mom carrying him then.
Yes.
Because what's weird is I see her. She looks tired.
Yeah.
Like she's
She
been
would have
like she
been.
was walking with him or something somewhere.
Yes.
And I get like blisters on her feet. Like I keep seeing that. He keeps showing me that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if wherever she had him at, it's almost like she sacrificed herself to get him wherever she needed to go. That's how it comes across. Or
Yes.
wherever she's traveling. Does that make sense?
Yes.
They get a lot of walking while
Yes.
carrying him.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know how this fits either. I've never done a reading like this before with someone way back then. So he's showing me all this new stuff, and I'm trying to figure out how it fits. So then there's also he's showing me a white man. But I feel like he's connected to him. I don't know if that's his dad or was he have a white dad? Because he shows me a soldier, a white soldier that I
Yes.
feel like is his dad.
Yes. They were adopted by a general and traveled back east on a wagon train after their village was attacked. And
Okay.
they were adopted into that family. And there was 3 different families, but it was that one guy that
And he
you're
was a
probably
white
seeing.
soldier guy.
Yes, he
Okay.
was. Yep.
Okay. Then he had like did they wear blue?
Yes.
Because he's got
I
the
actually have.
blue.
I've seen pictures of him in uniform. Yeah.
Okay, the blue uniform on is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
With that.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
That's
Wow,
correct.
dude, you're giving me a history lesson.
I'm surprised it's actually working.
Me too.
That's really wild.
At least you can validate it.
Yeah.
So,
I've studied for years, and I know family members, and I've heard all the stories, and my grandfather told me stories.
yeah.
So
Okay. So, with this family that adopted him, I keep getting that there was there two other children? He shows me
yes,
3, but then he shows me
yes,
2 other children,
yes.
and one's a female, I think.
He had 2 brothers, but he was rescued by 2 girls.
Oh, so that might be because he keeps showing me. I don't know. He's confusing me because he's showing me that there's 3 of them, as in family, brother and sister. But
Yes,
then separately, he showed me a girl, and I don't know if he
yes.
became friends with that girl or something, or he's just saying that he thanks that girl, or he looked at her like a sister. But there is a girl that he shows me that was very important to
She saved
him.
his life. Yeah,
Yeah.
she carried him for many, many miles. Yes,
Okay.
she is like family.
Okay, so that would make sense why he's showing me 3, as in 2 brothers and him, and then this
Mm-hmm.
one's separate, but he looks at her like a sister. Okay,
Yes.
that makes sense. All right. I was like, okay, what are you trying to tell me here?
Now, I don't know if they were actually related, but she did save his life, and
Yeah, well,
her and
it's
her
just
younger
it
sister.
feels like it's just a connection that he feels with her, like he looks at her like
Yes,
a sister.
like he owed her his life.
Right.
Yeah.
And he also is showing me like wringing out clothes in the river or creek or wherever water.
Yes.
He just shows me wringing out clothes. I mean, I know that's obvious, but that's what he shows me.
Yeah.
And there's a dog. He shows me there was a dog that was running around. I don't know if it was the family's dog or when he was with the tribe, but there's a dog. He keeps showing me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. Like, you know, sometimes he shows me it with the village though, or because it's like I see the vision that I see is like all these teepees and stuff. And you know how sometimes when they're in a village, like they have the horses and then they have a couple dogs running around. Like that's what he shows me.
Yes.
This dog running around. But I don't know if he had a connection with the dog or what, but that's the vision he shows me. I don't know if it makes sense.
I think it was a family pet kind of deal.
Okay. It's like this dog is following him around everywhere. So
yes.
But he's showing me him as a boy. Like this is when he was younger.
They were like 4-legged babysitters.
Yeah. That's kind of what it comes across as. Okay, so I hear the word encampment, but I don't know what it means.
Yes. That makes sense.
Okay, how does that make sense? Because I don't know what it means.
I have, in my research, I've been able to narrow down 2 village massacres that they could have been in. One is like at Washita, where would have been what is now Oklahoma, and one is up north, what would be, I want to say Idaho, maybe. It was way up to the north where the Blackfoot tribe lived. So it could have been either one of those, but yeah, they would have been encamped there. Especially if it's the one in Oklahoma. They were encamped there at like a gathering of the different tribes, trying to figure out what they were going to do about what was happening to them, like politically, and what white man is doing. And so there was a gathering there of several tribes.
Okay. I just didn't know what the word encampment meant.
Yes. It was a big gathering.
Okay.
And it would have been more families than just his.
Okay. Okay, I don't know what this name is. This name feels like a name I know, but I don't know why I'm hearing it. They're like, just say it. So, John Henry. I don't know. That feels like a historical name, but I don't.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It does?
Yes.
Because I was sitting here questioning.
No,
and they're
that
like,
makes
just
sense.
say it.
That validates things for me.
Okay, as long as it makes sense to you, that's good. Because I was like, I know that's like seems like a very historical name, but I didn't want to say it, and they're like, just say it. So
yeah, it matches diaries I've read.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
He's actually pretty strong. He's giving so it matches the diaries you read. That's just a lesson. I'm always learning. Say what you get.
Yeah. I've prayed and asked him to come forward and talk to you. Because I didn't know how to hear him. I could feel him.
Yeah.
You know, but I didn't. I'm deaf.
He's got quite a. His energy is very. It's very matter of fact, but it's also very like he's kind.
Yes.
He's kind, but it's like because he was so precise in life. I feel like he's trying to be precise with this reading.
Yes.
He wants everything to come through right, I guess. He seems to have a lot of knowledge. Like there's like I don't know how to explain it.
He was a wise old man.
Yeah, he's very, very, like, he knows a lot of stuff.
He's seen a lot too.
Yeah. Like, he had quite a life.
Yes.
Do you know why I would get 80s?
Oh, yeah. Because he lived to be in his 80s.
Okay.
And he was also in the war in the 1880s.
Okay. So it's
And
a multiple meaning.
yes.
That's why they gave me 8. That's why they said 80s. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Wow.
And he shows me like his family around him prior to passing or around the time of his. I see him surrounded by people.
Yes.
It's like he's laying in a bed and then he's surrounded by people. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And he's got, I hear grandkids. He's talking about grandkids, great grandkids, kids. Like he's like very family oriented. Because what he's talking about is being like loving his family, being very family oriented, and he knew that those people were around him. He felt loved and appreciated.
Yes. He had a lot of kids.
At the time of his, yeah, that's why I'm not getting a number, because it's just like kids and grandkids.
Yeah.
And, like there's a lot. Like I feel like there's a lot around him.
Yeah, there was.
Almost like 10 is what I want to say.
Yes. He had 9 lived and he lost 1. Yes.
Okay,
10
so
is
9.
correct.
Okay, 10.
Wow.
There we go. So then he had 9 alive and 1 on the other side, so that would be 10. Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. I was surprised I got that. See, he's very precise in the what he's giving me.
He was a soldier, so everything about everything was precision.
And I felt it was kind of hard identity-wise, right?
Yes.
Because he's Native American, but then he's raised by a white soldier. So it was very he struggled a lot with his identity. Like, what do I identify with? Especially with the fact that the white man, was this way and the natives were this way, and he didn't know who to identify with and who was right and who was wrong. Like that's how he comes across. And I'm getting chills with that. He struggled with that a lot.
Yes, he did. And he did later on tell his children about their heritage and told them to be proud of it.
Yeah.
But it took him a while to come to that.
Mm-hmm. Well, because I mean, it makes sense why he would kind of have an identity crisis, so to speak, as the words he's giving me, because he was Native on the inside, but he was raised by a white family and a white soldier, and the white soldier, taught him the white ways. Although I feel like that soldier had compassion for the Native Americans.
He did, yes.
Like, I don't feel like he was like a bad guy or he hated him or anything. Like, I feel a lot of compassion from him to
that's correct.
Yeah.
He founded he started a farm out there to help people that he rescued, and my family being among them, and it kind of grew from there. But
he sounds like he calls him his dad.
Yeah.
Was very like he's thankful that he's the one that took him in.
Yes.
Because he says he taught me how to be a good man.
I believe that, yeah. That makes a lot of sense from what I've read about the man.
He is smiling at you because he appreciates the work that you have done on this historical part of his life and wanting to know more about your ancestry and history and all of that. Because he says, it's important. It's important to know where you came from. And so I'm getting the chills with that. He's really shining down on you with that. I keep seeing more leaves. I was so afraid
that I was disrespecting him. I didn't want to disrespect him.
No, you're not disrespecting him. He understands why you're doing it. And any time that you're led to do something, it's for a reason. So I see more leaves. So that means that you're going to get past that block, I feel, is what he's showing me. Because he shows me, like, because that's how I relate it to the ancestry thing is the leaves. The more leaves you get. So he's showing me a bunch of different leaves.
Oh,
So
cool.
somehow I feel like you're going to break through that.
Okay.
And be able to get more leaves. I don't know if anything that I've given you tonight is going to be helpful in that, but hopefully. I hear the name Mary.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Lately. Okay, how does that fit?
Mary was his first wife, who was my grandfather's mom. And she died early when the kids were young.
I wanted to connect her to him.
That's my grandma.
Okay, I wanted to connect her to him as a significant other. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. I usually don't see, this is what I talk about with spirits. They all work different with me, and sometimes they're very clear with what they say, and some, like, they give names like this, and sometimes they just don't. But I like when they do, because it's very validating.
I have a picture of her too, but
okay. So Mary's with him, obviously. I also get the name George.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
They had a son. Yeah.
Named George?
Yes.
Okay.
And he had a brother named George as well.
Okay. So I guess you're just validating family members now. I also hear Jim.
Yeah, James.
James. I guess that's the same name now, but I hear it as Jim. Yeah. Okay. Wow, thank you for giving me names. I normally don't get them.
I've put a lot of hours into this. I know family I've never even gotten to meet.
I'm just glad he's throwing out names, because usually they don't throw out names for me. So I like when they do that, because I'm always struggling. Like, I'm like, why can't they all communicate like you? He's good. He's good at communicating, for sure.
Oh, thank you. Tell him I said thank you.
I feel like he's got he had natural abilities.
Yes.
Not just healing abilities, but natural Native American gifted abilities.
Yes.
Spiritual abilities.
Yes, he did.
That I feel like for a while he was blocked off to, because he didn't know how to handle them.
Yes.
But I think eventually he gave into it. And
he did later on.
Yeah, when he learned to accept that side of his heritage, that's when he was able to, come into his own.
And he said that,
what I'm hearing.
And my grandpa, his son would talk to me about dreams, and I've been a dreamer all my life too, and I see things in my dreams, and
a dream walker,
and that goes
is what I hear.
Yeah,
dream walker,
all the way back. Yep.
And I got chills with that.
He was very much one of those.
Okay, I get chills with that, and then I hear the name Rose as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow. I'm blown away.
You and me both. Because now I'm hearing a name and I don't know why I'm hearing it. It doesn't make sense, but Sebastian. I don't know.
Actually, it kind of does make sense. It was part of his adopted family.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm glad I said it, because I'm like, I had a dog named Sebastian, and I always think of like the Little Mermaid with Sebastian, and so he had a part of his adopted family. There's a Sebastian that would have been like a brother to him. Okay, thank God that makes sense, because when I say weird names like that, I don't know if they're gonna fit. And got it. Okay. Wow. Okay, on the other side, he shows me, he's standing there, and he is surrounded by a lot of people, but he's surrounded by, I see natives in headdresses surrounding him.
Yes.
He feels like someone important on the other side, actually.
He was important here too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like that's carried on to the other side, and that's why
Yeah.
he can communicate so clearly with me, because he's almost like,
He would have been like the son of the chief at in his village.
right. So that's why I keep getting chief, and so maybe that's his dad, his real dad that's with him. But I feel like he's got an important job over there. Like, that's why he can communicate so easy with me. It's almost like
Oh
he's a
wow.
guide or something like that.
That would kind of make sense.
Yeah.
That would have been part of his role had he stayed with the tribe.
Yeah, and that's why I think he's so clear. Because, I mean, he just knows how to communicate.
Yeah. And I know like my own experiences with the animals and stuff, I kind of have to attribute to him, I think.
And his energy is so strong that it's giving me anxiety. And every time I hit on something, I get the chills. So he's got a
Yes.
very, very strong, prominent energy. And he knows how to use it without being overpowering. And again, he comes through very clearly, which is rare and I appreciate. But he, like I said, he was very important here, but he's also very important on the other side. Like he has, I swear, it's almost like he's a guide. Like maybe one
That
of your guides.
yeah, that very well
And maybe
could be,
that's why you have
yes.
such a strong connection with him. Um,
And I never got to meet him, but
right. Which we don't, our guides, we usually don't, but we know them before we ever come to Earth, right?
right.
So there's something about that. Also, I connect really strongly with Native American, anyways, and that might be another reason. But I'm trying to see if there's anything else he's giving, because he's given a lot.
Does he give anything about horses?
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier, but then I didn't say it again because I was saying horses and I was seeing the dogs. But we already talked about the horses, so I didn't know if there was another thing with that.
I was just curious because his nickname was Horse. They called
Okay,
him
that would
Horse.
be why I was seeing that, because I saw the dog and then I was seeing horses, and I was going to ask you,
Yes.
but then we already talked about him riding horses, so I didn't know if it was separate.
Yeah. And
So
I
that
raised
makes sense
horses for
because,
years. Yeah.
but it was like I was seeing a white horse standing there,
Yes.
but then this dog was running the hell around, So
Yep.
then I was like, but we
And
already
that
talked
may
about
very
him
well been
riding
what
them, so
he
I didn't know
saw.
why he was. I didn't know if he was just showing me what was in the village, or,
That
because it
yeah,
kind of
that
came
very well
into
that makes a lot of sense. I've seen pictures of what I
the
think
white
might have
horse.
been where he was, and there was a white horse in his what would have been his village. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna ask you if he had a specific horse that he was really close to,
Mm.
or unless it's just the nickname thing. But I keep seeing this white horse, and he's like standing next to it on the other side.
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
And he had a couple, but there was a white one that was pretty special to him.
Okay. Yeah, that's what he's coming. That's what he's coming across with it being. But he had a connection to animals, anyways. It
Yes.
feels like not only to people and healing them, but also to animals. Like he had that kind of connection and energy to them. I don't
Yeah.
know if he ever like healed a bird, but he shows me like a sick bird or a broken wing bird, something with the bird that he helped rehabilitate. That's what he shows me. I don't know if it's symbolic for just him healing birds, or healing animals, but that's what he shows me.
No, that makes sense because my grandfather told me that story.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I've actually heard that before. I can't
He
believe
literally
you
brought this bird back to
got that.
life.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what he shows me, because he shows me it in his hand and it's sick, and all
Yes.
of a sudden he goes like this and it flies off.
Yep.
So he literally brought the thing back to life.
And my grandpa told me that when I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That was one of the stories that, he would tell us about his dad.
Oh, cool. So he talks about you and him, like you having some of the same gifts he has, or he had. You're a healer. He says it's been passed down, it runs in the genes.
Yes.
And that's also why you sense spirit. Like you have his spiritual gifts.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes. More so with animals, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, I was getting to the animal part, but you have his gifts in feeling spirit, sensing spirit, but also the healing part, especially with animals. You've got a lot of green. I don't usually see auras, but he shows me green around you, which is my symbol for healing. So I don't know if you've got a lot of green in your aura or what, but I get green and pink a lot around you, which is compassion and healing.
Yes.
Which normally I don't see. Normally I don't see that, but
That's
I'm seeing it
probably
with you.
actually pretty accurate, though.
Yeah. Well, he's showing me that around you. So whether it's symbolic to just say you have a lot of compassion and healing abilities, or it's just that's actually in your aura. He just wanted you to know that. He says you're special.
Oh.
So he's he reverted, like he's showing me him younger. Like I'd say about 20s. And he was actually very handsome.
He was?
But he shows me a native dress.
Yes.
So I don't know if he ever wore the native dress here or if it's just on the other side he's getting into who he really was on the other side.
Yeah. I don't know if he was allowed to do that while he was here. He may not have been able to acknowledge it till he was there.
Yeah. So he's showing me him in native dress, and he's about 20 something. Very handsome. His hair's grown out actually on the other side. He does look more native on the other side. I don't know why he's showing me that way. The balls are so loud I can't handle it, sorry. So that's how he's showing me him. And he's blowing a kiss and waving goodbye and saying, thank you. He wants to say thank you. Thank you for this time. And he knew it was important to you. So yes. I think it was an amazing reading. I hope it was helpful for you. I don't know if it broke any blocks, but hopefully it did.
It actually kind of did, I think.
Okay, good.
Yes. It makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Based on what I know historically and what he's saying, yeah.
Okay, cool. You'll have to keep me updated about this now.
And the Geronimo thing makes total sense.
Oh, wow.
I was actually on the right path, and I think he kind of validated that. So thank you for that.
Man, thank him. Yeah, I when I heard that, I was like, wait, no.
Because I wouldn't have thought of that because it's too far south for what my family was supposed to be. Mm-hmm. But his family would have been there. Geronimo's family would have been at the same place my grandpa was. So that's absolutely right up the alley. That's correct.
Okay, great. And then the John Henry, you said there was diaries with that name in there?
Yes.
Okay.
And he had a rifle that he named after a friend he was in the military with, John Henry.
Oh, okay.
And so there's like 3 different meanings for John Henry, but yes.
And that's why he was showing me the rifle too. Okay, it makes sense.
Yeah. And he was a marksman and a horseman and the whole 9 yards. So.
Yeah, he was showing me all of that stuff.
But John Henry was just like, I didn't think I
didn't want to say it. When I get stuff like that, like, I question it because I know that it's, like, you know, a historical name, and I don't expect to get it, but it
He
made
was
sense.
on he was raised though in an area where, they hung out with like the president, and they couldn't people weren't supposed to know they were native. And he was like a servant in this guy's house, and then he rode with this guy and went hunting with the Roosevelts and stuff, so his heritage had to be kept secret.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
where the identity crisis and all that comes in at.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so for him to be able to express that later on, and tell his kids who they were and to be proud of it, that took a lot.
Yeah. I think it just came to the realization, that that's who he was, and I actually think that the guy that stepped in as his dad eventually helped him with that. Like he didn't try to take his heritage away from him. He
Exactly.
wasn't against who he was,
Yep.
for a white man. A lot of white men were, but he wasn't like that. He's like, it kind of reminds me of Dances with Wolves.
Yeah.
And
Kind of. Yeah.
how the white guy was into the village, and like they took him in, and he didn't think he was white, but he liked the Native Americans. He didn't think anything bad about him. Like that's kind of like how it feels. Like he wanted to know and all that. So Shazam wants to know if she can cut this off and make a video out of it.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
Thank
and
you.
Put it on it'll be like a separate video of just this reading on my YouTube, if that's okay.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. And then that way you can keep it.
Yeah, I'd love that.
It or whatever.
I'm pretty sure once they get over the fact that I talked to someone who communicates with spirits, then maybe they'll appreciate it.
Well, there's so much validation. I mean, you really can't deny all the validation.
Yeah. And I talk to spirits all the time, so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because like he said, you're gifted in that way. He was too.
Yeah, so, I think he was.
Shazam wants you to come back. What do you want her to come back for?
I have other family members we could talk to.
Okay. They're wanting you to come back, I guess.
And a lot of history.
They really liked this one. So cool. Yeah, I'm glad it turned out so well. I wasn't really sure how that was going to turn out, but because of who he is, he was just very clear, with everything. So
he was pretty clear when he was here too.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming on and everything. Well, everybody wants you to come back, so we'll have to do that. Maybe we'll plan it or something. If you reach out through my email or something, we'll plan it.
Oh, thank you. Anytime.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you, Rachel.
You're welcome.
You too.